Hello again and welcome to another Warhammer 40k Imperial Guard Tactics video. So today we will be continuing our basic unit tactics series and we will be going over some basic low level tactics with Hellhounds. So for those of you that are new to this series, it's something that I've done previously with weapon loadouts on infantry units, and I've also covered some basic units as well. And the point of the series is to essentially give newer players, whether you're new to 40k in general or first coming into the Guard, or maybe an experienced player who wants a new take on something, to give them an idea of what to expect from a unit and some basic tactics and ideas on how to use that unit and what you can expect from it. Okay? So today we will be looking at Hellhounds. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Hellhound is a light tank in the Imperial Guard fast attack slot, and essentially, guys, it is a flamethrower tank. However, a lot of people have the tendency to believe that because it is a flamethrower tank that you have to get super close with the Hellhound. That's not actually true. The Hellhound has a long range Inferno cannon, which is a 16-inch flamer, which is really, really good. So before we get into the awesomeness that is the Inferno cannon, let's just go over a quick overview of what the Hellhound is. So it is a standard Chimera chassis. It has, movement 12, weapon skill 6+, ballistic skill irrelevant because it's going to be hitting automatically with its main cannon, but it starts off on a 4+ and does degrade down to a 6+. Strength 6, toughness 7, which is nice. Wounds 11, and then a 3+ save. Now they're the important stats. Now, how much does this little tasty package cost you? Well, if memory serves me correctly, it is 73 points. But let me just double check that. Hellhound, 73 points. And the Inferno cannon, which you must buy for it, you don't have a choice, so just accept that live choice, is 20 points. Okay, so 93 points. Now, the first choice you have to make is, are you going to take the heavy bolter or are you going to take the heavy flamer? And in my opinion, there is only one correct choice, and it is the heavy flamer. Okay? Essentially, guys, the reason behind this is because the Hellhound is what we call a fast mover, or what I call a fast mover, a rapid reaction unit. Essentially, it's always going to be moving. If your Hellhound stays still for a turn, you've either made a mistake or you forgot about it. But it should never be staying still. Never. The Hellhound has decent speed. And one of the best things you can do is you can spend 5 points and you can give your Hellhound track guards. Sorry, 10 points. Give your Hellhound track guards. Because what track guards do is it allows you to continue to move at your full speed. Okay, so why am I saying take the heavy flamer? Why am I saying take track guards? Okay, well, it all comes down to basically the Hellhound's going to be moving, so you want it to be able to keep moving at maximum capacity. Okay, and the reason you want to take the heavy flame is so that it always automatically hits. You see, the big problem that guard vehicles traditionally suffer from is the enemy will knock them down a couple of brackets and then leave them because a guard vehicle hitting on 5s or 6s isn't a big deal. But the Hellhound, if it has a heavy flamer and it has an Inferno cannon, is automatically hitting all the time. Which means you can degrade it down to 1 wound and it's still going to be hitting you just as hard as when it's on full wounds. But the really important thing is that you want to be able to keep the Hellhound moving so the enemy can't catch it, tie it up, finish it off in close combat. Or generally, you want to just keep it as a nuisance. Now, track guards allow you for 10 points to keep moving at full capacity. So what you have there, guys, is for 73 points, plus 17, plus 20, plus 10, so 110 points. 120 points, sorry. What you have is a vehicle that is just as deadly as when it's on full wounds, as when it's on half wounds. It will never degrade. It will never ever get any less powerful, which is something that pretty much very few of the units in the entire 40k army universe can claim. Not from a vehicle, not from a degrading, not from something that should be degrading. It's absolutely fantastic. And the reason why it's so important is it means your opponent has to dedicate enough firepower to finish your Hellhound off. He can't just weaken it, because it doesn't get weaker. It's always going to be burning him. So, some of you might be saying, well, what's the big deal? You know, it's only a couple of flamers. That is where you are seriously wrong, my friend, because the Hellhound boasts, in my opinion, one of the best weapons that the Imperial Guard has to offer, which is, as I said, the Inferno Cannon. So we're coming back round here, guys. So the Inferno Cannon, in the index, it was heavy D6 and did 2 damage, but they've changed it now. Now in the Codex, it is heavy 2d6. Strength 6, AP -1, 1 damage, and this weapon hits its target automatically. Now, if you add in a heavy flamer there, don't forget it's got 16-inch range. So if you add a heavy flamer in there, that's 3d6. Now, the heavy flamer is only strength 5, and the Inferno Cannon is strength 6. The reason it's really, against most targets, against most marine targets, that won't be a big difference. You'll be wounding on 3s with everything. So you can just roll all the dice together pretty much. But against toughness 3 and below, so, well, toughness 3, what is the most powerful toughness 3 army out there at the moment? Oh yeah, Eldar and Dark Eldar. What is one of the most powerful armies out there? Full stop. Oh yeah, Eldar and Dark Eldar. So, my point is that Hellhounds are quite meta breaking. So, if you can get them close to those units of Dark Reapers, which I know are a little outdated now in terms of what's powerful, but they're still good, you'll toast them. You'll absolutely toast them. A Latok, your opponent's taking a Latok Eldar, you don't care, you hit automatically. You don't even need to get within the 12-inch range, because you've got a 16-inch range Inferno Cannon with 2d6 damage. They're absolutely fantastic. Now, how would I run the Hellhounds in your army? Well, if it's worth taking once, it's worth taking 3 times. That's my motto. I would take 3 Hellhounds. I own 4, okay? But I would take 3 Hellhounds. Absolutely fantastic. And for 360 points, you can just deploy all 3 of those Hellhounds on one flank. And they will just chew through anything. Because the point is that they have the ability to just keep on going. And they have such high damage output. That's 9 times d6. That's 9d6 heavy flamer Inferno Cannon shots. It's just an insane amount of, pardon the pun, firepower. Now, the great thing about the Hellhound, and the great thing about putting... so, initially, the basic tactics is you're going to drive your Hellhound up to the enemy, get nice and close, get within an 8-inch range, and just keep on burning. And when the enemy gets close to you and tries to charge you to type your vehicle, you're just going to keep on burning, because one of these vehicles puts out 3d6 heavy Inferno Flamer shots on Overwatch, which hits automatically, which is fantastic. The interesting thing is that the Hellhound, there is a slightly more advanced tactic, which a lot of people don't really appreciate. Okay. And that is the ability for the Hellhound to kite enemies. Okay. What you will often want to do is zip the Hellhounds off upper flank, especially against a melee army, upper flank, but stay just in range. Stay within that 16-inch range. Because even if the enemy moves, let's say you're facing an Orc Horde or Khorne Berserkers or something, they're only going to be able to move 6 inches towards you. So at most, they're going to have like a 10-inch charge against you. But if they're in a vehicle, then they'll still going to have like a 7 or 8 inch charge against you, considering they get to move out 3 inches and then their movement. So what you can do is if your opponent fails his charge, you just fall back. You don't even fall back, you just drive back a little bit and keep flaming him. You just keep flaming him. Your opponent, in some cases, will never catch up with you. And if your opponent does catch up with you and does survive all the Overwatch and ties you up, guess what? You just fall back again. He's going to have to charge you, and if he charges you again, you get to Overwatch him again. I have used 3 Hellhounds to successfully fall back and Overwatch in a couple of turns. One of my opponent's charge phases, one of my phases, a Dread Knight just died. It just died because it's so much flaming all the time. Dread Knights are not the ideal target for a Hellhound, yet they're still perfectly capable of doing it. And that is the hidden gem of the Hellhound. Its weapons are all strength 5, strength 6, which means if it pretty much can take on any target in the game. It can take on infantry and wound on 3s, or it can take on vehicles and it's still wounding on 5s, but it's got the damage output. I mean, on average, one of these things is going to be putting out 10 shots at close range. That's 30 shots from 3 of them. 30 hits, I should say. That's a lot of firepower. And traditionally, Hellhounds were never considered to be that good. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for them, but most people haven't. But now, you ask any competitive player, you've got to love the Hellhound. The Hellhound is amazing. It's absolutely amazing little beast, amazing little workhorse. Now, there is one thing that should be mentioned about the Hellhound, is that when it explodes on a 4+. Technically, it's on a 6, but you add 2 to the result. Okay? So, this is quite interesting because this can actually be used to your advantage, because it affects everyone within 6 inches and they all take D3 mortal wounds. If you've got an opponent, what you can do if your Hellhound's getting down to its last couple of wounds, you just slam that thing, you just drive it straight into the heart of your enemy. You just flame him, and maybe you even charge him and you make him blow your Hellhound up on your turn, because guess what? Enemy units have to fight in close combat. They can't choose to not fight you. So if you charge in and you've only got 1 wound left, let's assume you survive the Overwatch, because you're a tank, so you probably will do. Then the enemy punches you, they have to, they take that last wound off, you explode on a 4+, you get to do D3 extra mortal wounds that you probably wouldn't have been able to do if your opponent had the opportunity to kill you at range. So there you go. One thing I want to say, so there you go guys, that is the Hellhound tactics. Pretty basic, but there's a couple of more advanced tactics in there as well. I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video, so I'm going to mention it at the end of the video. Thank you, massive thank you to Matthew Dobbing for sending in these pictures of his Orlok Imperial Guard. So I mentioned in my Where of the Metal, no more metal Imperial Guard models, I mentioned that Orloks could be a good choice of an alternative guard regiment. As you guys can see from these pictures, they make an absolutely fantastic alternative. Absolutely fantastic. And when painted up, even in just traditional Orlok colours, they look absolutely amazing. So thank you, Matthew, for sending these pictures in. Apologies I didn't say it at the beginning of the video, but I wanted to make sure I remembered at the end. And if anyone else has any cool pictures they want to send in to me, just go on my Facebook, just Mordian Glory, add me as a friend, and then post them on my timeline. And if they're any good, I'll use them, and if not, well, I'll still take a look at them. Okay? But thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.